The brass bell above the door let out a cheerful jingle as Malcolm Carter stepped into Sunnyside Eats, a well-known downtown diner. He moved with quiet confidence, his navy blue suit crisp, his polished shoes clicking rhythmically against the tiled floor. The rich aroma of sizzling bacon and fresh coffee wrapped around him, momentarily transporting him to Saturday mornings in his mother's kitchen. "Morning," he greeted the hostess with a polite smile. But before she could reply, a figure emerged from behind the counter. Rick. The manager. Middle-aged, permanently scowling, with a chip on his shoulder as heavy as the grease stains on his apron. His eyes locked onto Malcolm, and something in his posture stiffened. "We're full," Rick declared, crossing his arms. Malcolm's gaze swept across the room. Half the tables sat empty. "Doesn't look full to me," Malcolm responded, his tone even, but firm. Rick's scowl deepened. "I said we're full. Try somewhere else." The tension in the air grew thick. Conversations at nearby tables slowed, eyes flicking toward the exchange. Malcolm had seen this before, felt it in the unspoken words, the sudden shift in energy. Some wounds of the world never quite healed. "Are you refusing me service because of my skin color?" Malcolm asked, his voice steady, carrying just enough weight to be heard beyond their immediate conversation. Rick let out a low chuckle, smug, dismissive. "Take it however you want, but you're not getting a table. Now leave before I call security." A slow breath. Malcolm wasn't about to lose his temper over a small man's ignorance. He simply reached into his pocket, pulled out his phone, and dialed. "All right," he said smoothly, stepping toward the door. "Let's see if you still feel that way in a few minutes." Rick scoffed. "Yeah? Go ahead. Call whoever you want." Malcolm stepped outside, the cold city air sharp against his skin. He lifted the phone to his ear. "Hey, Ben. I'm at Sunnyside Eats downtown. We've got a situation." Ben Thompson. Childhood friend. Now a powerhouse attorney in Chicago. The kind of man who knew exactly how to turn injustice into accountability. A pause. Then Ben's voice, firm and unwavering, "Stay there. I'll handle it." Inside, Rick strutted around, pleased with himself, the self-proclaimed king of a kingdom built on bad coffee and worn-out booths. But the customers weren't blind. Some exchanged uneasy glances. A few even abandoned their meals, slipping out the door. 15 minutes later, a sleek black sedan pulled up at the curb. The door opened, and out stepped Ben, tailored suit, briefcase in hand. But he wasn't alone. Beside him walked a man in uniform. Captain James Porter. Chicago PD. The diner quieted as they strode inside. Conversations hushed. Silverware clinked awkwardly against ceramic plates. Rick, still basking in his petty triumph, turned to face them and froze. Ben wasted no time. "I'm Ben Thompson, an attorney. This is Captain Porter from CPD. We're here regarding Malcolm Carter, the man you just refused to serve." Rick's bravado shriveled instantly. I didn't do anything wrong," he stammered. "I have the right to refuse service." "You do," Ben shot back, "but not on the basis of race. That's illegal." He glanced around the diner, meeting the eyes of customers who had witnessed the exchange. "And judging by the people here, it's clear that's exactly what happened." Captain Porter stepped forward, his presence commanding. "We've received complaints about this establishment before. Looks like it's time for a full investigation." A murmur spread through the room. One by one, voices rose, customers recounting what they had seen, confirming the truth. Rick's face lost all color. He tried to backpedal, his hands lifting in a weak attempt at surrender. "Look, maybe there was a misunderstanding. He can have a table now." Malcolm had re-entered the diner by this point, his expression unreadable. He met Rick's frantic gaze but didn't take the bait. "I don't want your table," he said coolly. "I want accountability." Ben nodded. "Here's how this is going to work. First, you'll apologize to Malcolm in front of everyone here. Then, you'll deal with the legal consequences of your actions. Discrimination isn't just unethical, it's against the law." Rick opened his mouth as if to argue, but the sharp look from Captain Porter stopped him cold. "Apologize," the officer ordered. A hard swallow. Rick turned to Malcolm, his voice barely above a whisper. "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have refused you service. Malcolm nodded once. Apology accepted. But this isn't just about me, it's about making sure no one else has to deal with this. Ben added, expect a formal lawsuit. And Captain Porter will be ensuring this place is reviewed for other violations. Rick stood there, shoulders sagging, knowing full well his time as manager was over. The weight of consequence had finally settled in. As Malcolm and Ben turned to leave, scattered applause rippled through the room. Some customers reached out to shake Malcolm's hand, thanking him for standing up when so many wouldn't have. Outside, the city hummed as usual, cars honking, people rushing past, but something in the air felt different. Lighter! Malcolm glanced at Ben. Appreciate you, man. Ben grinned. Always. This is how change happens, one fight at a time. And as they walked away, the sun peeked through the clouds, shining just a little brighter over downtown Chicago.